So you want to be an Airbnb Superhost? You've come to the right place. I'm a veteran Superhost and I have been a Superhost 25 times. This is part 3 of my 10-part Airbnb series on how to be an Airbnb Superhost. I'm Juls, I'm the Firefly. Welcome to my world. I'm going to share 3 secrets with you today. And my first secret is avoid the clutter. And when I say no clutter, I mean photos everywhere, clothes on the floor, lots of stuff. You don't want that. People don't want to stay at an Airbnb where there's just stuff everywhere. It's overwhelming and makes one feel, ugh, this is too much. What people want is they want to walk into your Airbnb and feel peace and serenity. It also helps with your cleaner that when she comes in, she doesn't have to spend most of her time going around all the knickknacks and photos and that kind of thing. And also, it saves you money because if you have too much stuff everywhere, people can knock over your things and the cleaner can also knock over your things. So that is my first secret, clutter free. Secret number 2, great photos. It is so important to get fantastic photos of your Airbnb. Believe me, if you have dodgy photos or photos that are grainy or dark or a bit dingy, people are gonna move on. They're not going to want to look at your listing. If you have amazing photos that encapsulate your listing, they're going to go nuts. They're going to go, oh my God, what's this place? This is amazing. And they'll click on. With my apartment, Airbnb had a free photography service. So I was like, oh my God, that's a winner because I can't take a good photo. I'm terrible at taking photos and everyone I know will attest to that. So I had the Airbnb photography service, tick. And my sister-in-law Jessica was an amateur photographer and she was amazing, fantastic. She was thrilled. Came out, Jess took photos, the Airbnb photographer took photos. So I had an array of photos I could go through. And they both had their positives. What I loved about Jessica's work is that she really encapsulated the emotional element. So for example, you could have a side table next to your bed and you could have a lamp, a book with some glasses next to it. You could have a coffee machine with 2 little cups, take a photo. It attaches an emotion, it emotes the person. It's fantastic. So Jess really got a couple of those fantastic shots. Also, what was awesome, she went outside the apartment and we had some amazing cafes, so next to the apartment block. So she took photos of the people next to the cafes because I could put those photos onto my listing and people could see what was around. And also what was fantastic is there was this really cool old car out the front of the apartment building, vintage car. Jess clicked away and we even put that into the listing. It was fantastic. Really important, landscape people, landscape. You don't want portrait because it doesn't do the same. It doesn't have the same effect. So, my dear friends, secret number 2, great photos. Secret number 3, the Airbnb blurb. The Airbnb advert. Just like the photos, you want to really engage people. So what's super duper important is to have a really fabulous, engaging, interesting advert. You want to share with people why they should be coming and staying at your Airbnb. This is critical for people wanting to come and stay at your Airbnb. Years ago, when I sold my house, the agent sent out the person who does the advert. I thought, great, she'd been with the company for a long time, she's obviously an old pro. Well, I was so unimpressed with the advert. It was so bland, boring. It just didn't cut the mustard. I was like, why would I buy that house? It didn't tell the story, anything about the home. So I went back to the agent and I said, no, that's not going to cut the mustard. Send me out someone who can tell the story of my home. And he did. And she was amazing, the next person that came out. She listened to my story and she wrote that in the ad. It was amazing. Now, with your Airbnb, highlight why it's so fabulous. What has it got that's really interesting? Oh, it's got a big TV, it's got a great balcony, luxurious bed, it's got cafes everywhere. You know, you really want to tell the story of what is so good about your apartment or your Airbnb. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, my friends. Get on to other people's listings and see what they have to say, and really fabulous listings that are really popular. So you can see how they've worded their adverts. Doesn't mean you have to copy, you put it into your words, but you get ideas. It's really important to be honest with people as well. If you say luxury accommodation, make sure you have luxury accommodation. If you have an amazing view, you make sure that you have an amazing view, because people are going to be reading your ad and thinking, great, I'm getting a luxury accommodation, I'm getting a great view. Be truthful and honest, because if you're not, you'll be found out, and that's not good for anyone. And you won't get a good review, a great review, which we want you to have. So just to recap, secret number 1, avoid the clutter. No mess, no clutter. Secret number 2, great photos. A photo is worth 1,000 words. And secret number 3, the Airbnb advert. Make it delicious and tantalizing, and make it that everyone wants to come and stay at your Airbnb. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the box below. I love to hear your stories. And click on the link for part 4 of my 10-part Airbnb series. I'm Jules, I'm the Firefly.